This video is a brief overview of Chapter 6 of David Smith's book, Learning from the Stranger. Smith talks about knowledge and ignorance and how it is needed when we are developing and enhancing our cultural intelligence, learning how to bridge the gap between our culture and those who are culturally different than we are. In this video, I want to talk about knowledge, ignorance, and spiritual growth, and then provide a theory I think matches well with the text. To enhance knowledge about culture, basic information can be gathered through the internet. It can also come from specialized books that talk about cultural behaviors and traditions. Communication is also a way to gain knowledge about culture. And while we are engaged in communication, we should also be aware of our own cultural background, because that impacts the way we interact with those who are culturally different than we are. And it actually determines and dictates how we respond to the world around us. Smith suggests that we should take care that we insert a healthy balance of ignorance. This will help us to keep an open mind, and it will move us further away from creating stereotypes, which will definitely hinder any cultural development. Smith provides an example of this when he talks about a woman who is traveling to China. And this woman is armed with information that she has about the expectation of tipping. However, when she gets to China, she realizes that the information that she has is a little skewed. So this example that Smith provides is great to show that the knowledge that you have should also incorporate a little ignorance, because what you think you know may not be what you know at all. Knowledge and ignorance can certainly lead to spiritual growth. Knowledge opens the door to gaining new information, and ignorance allows us to forego placing limits or assigning stereotypes. Being amenable to openly engage in efforts that lead to developing a greater understanding of people will necessitate humility. Humility will require self-awareness. This means being aware of our own cultural differences, which allow us to open our hearts and our minds as we communicate and build relationships. And it's the relationships that will help us to gain a greater understanding of cultural differences. This will allow us to learn from people and not about people who are culturally different than we are. The theory that applies to this chapter is David Livermore's cultural intelligence theory. This theory has 4 elements that drive cultural intelligence. And they are, and I just mentioned one, drive, knowledge, strategy, and action. Our drive to increase our cultural intelligence is based on our interest in learning from individuals who are culturally different than we are. Our knowledge shapes our engagement, and the strategy that we embrace requires us to make a deliberate plan of engagement. And action is simply that, interacting for the purpose of enhancing our cultural intelligence. We do all of this to find ways to bridge the gap between cultural differences, thereby creating ways for us to learn to love our neighbor as ourselves. Thank you.